This is why most wholesalers fail at agent outreach. I'm talking about complete and utterly fail, especially at scaling. So in this video, I'll show you why cold calling and MLS offering cap out no matter how hard you work. The 4 scaling methods I've seen ranked from worst to best, and then the one method that reaches 60,000 agents every single month on autopilot for cheap. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you're gonna make any money by watching this video. It's just me sharing all the knowledge I have from doing this for a long time. All right, so why should you even listen to me? I've been wholesaling since 2021, started working for a huge scaled wholesale company doing agent outreach, learned the whole game from the inside out, then went out and did it alone. When alone, I consistently was closing 1 to 4 deals every single month as an agent outreach wholesaler. I generated 20K fees, 30K fees, 45K fees, and even 71K fees doing this method of wholesaling. And I have personally used or studied every method I'm about to walk you through. I've also made every single mistake under the sun, so you don't have to. All right, this is where wholesalers usually get stuck. When wholesalers start out, most are doing one of these 2 methods. Either they're cold calling agents to get pocket listings, or they're offering on listed properties on like Zillow or the MLS or something like that. Now, these work. They work up to a certain point, but if you're doing this by yourself, it's gonna cap off very, very quickly. Most wholesalers get stuck at this point where maybe they're doing like 1 or 2 deals a month by themselves consistently, or a lot of them are inconsistent and making a little bit of money, but after that, they have no idea how to scale. So cold calling specifically, the moment you stop cold calling, your pipeline starts drying up. So let's say you get a deal under contract and now your whole entire focus is shifted to selling that deal. You are not doing acquisitions effectively anymore. Your whole focus is trying to sell this deal. And if the deal does not go through, you just wasted like 10 days of no prospecting trying to sell something that wasn't even a deal. That is a lot of outreach you missed out on, and then you have to start the whole entire cycle over again. MLS offering, pretty much the exact same problem. The second you get something under contract, your focus has to shift to dispositions. But on top of that, you are competing with every single wholesaler in your market who can see the exact same listings that you can see. So when a really good fixer-upper hits the market, we've all been through it, there's 30 other wholesalers offering on that same exact property. And even if you're offering on like 5 properties a day, you just simply are not doing enough. You're not talking to enough agents to actually build the kind of relationships and pipeline to get you consistent off-market pocket listings all the time. So this is a loop that most wholesalers are stuck in. Call, offer, get something under contract, focus on dispo, then the deal falls through and you have to start over again. So you can do like 1 or 2 deals a month like that, but you are never actually scaling. You're just doing deals. And there's a really big difference between doing deals and running a scalable wholesale business. So this is the solutions that I've come across ranked from worst to best. And the number 1 absolute worst solution that you should never do if you're like a new wholesaler stuck at this point, this is the absolute worst solution to do as your number 1 solution is hiring an acquisitions agent. And I say this from personal experience because I literally hired like 5 acquisitions agents right after my biggest month wholesaling. Definitely my fault, but it was a horrible decision. And it seems like it makes sense at first. Like you start making like 20, 25K a month by yourself consistently. And you think, man, if I just had one more person doing this exact same thing, you'll just make double. But no, it does not work like that. It does not. The second you hire somebody, almost 100% of your time goes into that person for a specific period of time. Training, onboarding, managing, watching over them, correcting all their mistakes. There's a lot to learn about this business and how to do everything correctly. And if you do not have a completely systemized process already built out, getting them to actually produce deals is going to be extremely, extremely hard. And the real problem is even if they do work out, if you train them on everything, and they actually start making money, there's basically nothing from stopping them from leaving and doing it themselves. You're not providing enough value as a business owner that incentivizes them to stay. So I'm not saying it absolutely doesn't work, because if you're very experienced, then you can absolutely make it work. But as a first option, it's just not the best solution, because once they learn that from everything from you, they can just do it themselves. Solution number 2 is a little bit better. Hiring a cold caller. Okay, this is a little bit better. If you have to focus on dispo when you get a deal under contract, you still have someone out there calling agents every single day and bringing in off-market pocket listings from agents. Those completely off-market deals where you're the only person with the offer on the table, those are going to be your biggest fees and the easiest ones to close. But the drawback of this hiring a cold caller method is it's relatively expensive. A really solid virtual assistant from the Philippines is going to cost you anywhere from $700 to $1,000 a month. At most, they are calling around like 200 agents a day, and you still have to hire them, train them, onboard them, manage them. And if they do a bad job, you have to fire them and start over. Or if they quit, same thing applies. So it is a good solution in some scenarios, but we are trying to keep it lean and mean. So let's keep going. Solution number 3, better than cold callers to start off with, is mass text blasts. And to be clear, I'm talking about mass outreach. I'm not talking about just nurture text every single month to an agent that you know. I'm talking about mass cold outreach to agents that you don't know, new agents. So I actually know a wholesaler doing this at a really high level. Last month, he sent almost 40,000 text messages to agents in his market. He also has a cold caller doing 6,000 dials every single month. And last month, they got 278 leads out of that and closed 7 deals. So yes, text blast absolutely does work when it's set up correctly. You're going to get a lot more volume than some of the other methods. But you cannot do this through a simple, like, go high level system. If you try, you're going to get flagged, get text violation strikes, get your numbers fried, and you're not going to be able to hit anywhere near the volume that you actually need. So text outreach is a gray area legally. That's the big issue with this one. Even business to business texting has compliant risks. Each fine, you can actually be fined like thousands of dollars. So obviously talk to a legal advisor. Don't trust some dude on YouTube, which is me. I'm not telling you how to be legally compliant with anything in this video. What I do know is wholesalers are doing it some type of legal way, but there's risk if you do it wrong. So just don't do it wrong. Now, the cost. This is really, the make or break for some people. That wholesaler's business costs are over $10,000 every single month just to run that operation. So, cost per outreach is definitely a lot lower than hiring a cold caller, but it still gets very pricey at scale. So, better than cold calling, better than an acquisitions agent, but it still gets costly very, very quick. Now, the absolute best solution that doesn't have any of these drawbacks that any of these other methods have is this right here. Solution number 4, cold email outreach at scale. So when I was heavily wholesaling every single day, I would send a simple email blast from Go High Level to agents I already knew, just a basic email, and I would get pocket listings from that, 45K fees, 30K fees all the time, completely off-market deals where no other investor was offering, just sending a simple email. Now, imagine just doing that on a mass scale. So that same 40,000 agents that other wholesaler is texting every month, you could reach that many agents every single month with cold email on autopilot for less than $1,000. It's crazy. It literally was not possible when I started wholesaling like in 2021, and it was not even possible like 3 years ago. So here's the thing. Email is 100% compliant even if you're marketing to businesses. You are never going to get fined for it as long as you're following the rules. Another thing is agents get super blasted and marketed to on text message, and they're completely annoyed by it. Every agent I talk to is way more annoyed by text messages than they are with emails, especially since there's really way less competition on this method than any of the other methods. Agents are constantly on their email. It is literally how they run their business. So they're going to see your stuff if you set it up correctly. To hit that same, volume of agents, text blasts and everything else, it could cost upwards of $10,000 a month. Cold email at scale literally can get done under $1,000 per month. 100% compliant. Agents live in their email and there's zero fines if done right. If you have proper infrastructure, there's absolutely no bans. Now, this part's important about this method. Again, you cannot do this just through a simple like go high level thing. You need to set up around like 70 different email inboxes, connect them all together, make sure they get properly warmed up so they do not land in spam, and make sure you are sending at the right volume. If you try to do this without a proper setup, your emails go straight to spam. Nobody sees them, and your inboxes, they get banned. So when it's set up correctly though, you're reaching tens of thousands of agents every single month on autopilot. You're building new agent relationships consistently, and you are getting off-market pocket listings sent directly to you without cold calling all day or competing on MLS. That's how you get out of the rat race, is having constant off-market inbound leads coming towards you, so you can focus on dispo. You can focus on the other stuff. You can focus on, whatever you else need to focus on while all the outreach is automated. You just have to send the offer. Now, once you're doing this and you want to capture even more pocket listings, that's when you go back up the ladder and do the other methods. Try the text blast out. Try hiring a cold caller. Once you have enough leads that you can't even handle all the off-market leads you have coming in, that's when you go get an acquisitions agent. Once you're at that point and you finally bring on that acquisitions agent, you're already filling them with leads every single day. That's providing real value as a business owner. That's being a true leader to your team, is having solutions for them and giving them a reason to stay with you. So if you don't want to worry about any of this, I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. I'll reach 60,000 agents a month for you, and then qualify all the leads, nurture the agent relationships, and then just send over all the pocket listings. So if you don't want to worry about any of this, I'll do it for you. But other than that, hope you have a great day. Like, subscribe, and everything. Wish you the most success, and let's go.